is the webinar for the FM Interact Move Management product. So that's what we're going to be covering today. I am Bill Meyer, and I am an applications engineer here with fmSystems, and we'll be covering the demo for you. So let's go ahead and get started. About fmSystems, some of you are not aware or have limited knowledge of our company. And just to give you a little background, we started back in 1984, not too long after IFMA started. And it was started by Mike Schley, who is an IFMA fellow. He's been involved in the facility management industry since even before this time, and of course created the product and has been heavily involved in the product ever since. We pride ourselves in our customer retention rate and also out of our customer satisfaction, which we're always looking to improve, of course. One of the ways we do that is through investing back into research and development and coming out with new products or new functionality, as some of you may see today. And of course, we have direct customer support that is done right in-house at our main headquarters in Raleigh, North Carolina. One of the things that I want you to take away today as we go through this product is that our system is configurable. And we compare that against customization in that you can make changes to the database structure, and we guarantee that the changes that you make are going to be upgraded. So if you create new tables, if you create new fields, modify views, change labels, those types of situations, we guarantee that's going to flow through to the next upgrade. Whereas customizations, even though they can be done to the system, we try and shy away from that because that always means, or it doesn't always necessarily always mean, but typically means when you upgrade to a next release, you've got to go back into that code and make those changes once again. We're also very open architecture system. I call us the nice kid on the block because we play very nicely with others. So if you have other databases or data sources within your organization, we can connect into those and pull that information over. So specifically for Move Management, obviously you need employee information, and that can be imported directly from your HR database, whether that's SAP, PeopleSoft, Oracle, even a homegrown system. We can tie into that and bring that information over. Here's just a quick example of some of our customers just to highlight the differences in the different industries that we can handle and manage because of the configurability of the tool. So even within the same industry, you have different companies and they all have different processes and procedures, and we can manage that very well within the system. We've aligned ourselves with Autodesk, and in fact, they named us their preferred BIM, Building Information Modeling, using Revit. So we support both Revit and AutoCAD up to the latest releases of 2012 now. And we are their preferred partner for facility management as well. And then a strategic alliance also with Jones Lang LaSalle. That was a really big deal as well. Okay, let's go ahead and jump in. So with FM Interact, we have a main home page which can be configured by the user role. Okay, so right now I am logged in as John Bryant here. Okay, and we can see that I am a Move admin and that I have the ability to make changes within Moves and also within other modules. Okay, so there are security permissions at play that will allow you to be able to go in and define who gets to see what, when, and where within the system. Okay, so as in a Move administrator role, I can manage and I can see all of this information. We have other roles that are also defined within Move Management itself that are outside of the main FM Interact roles. Those roles are the user, and some companies may choose to allow end users or anonymous users within the company to come in and create move requests for themselves. Okay? Other customers don't like enabling that feature, and so they turn that off. Then the next role is what we call the liaison role. And a liaison role is someone, think of them as a department admin or area admin, as they're sometimes called. These are people who can go in and make requests for other users within the system. So I just logged in as Sandra Carsoni, and we noticed that my primary user role is a Move Liaison. Okay? And notice that the home page also changed. Again, the configurability of the tool allows me to define whatever I'd like. This is just simple HTML running in a web browser. So it gives you that flexibility to go in and make those types of changes. So now if Sandra goes in and she creates a move request, we go into a form view. Fully configurable, everyone. You can come in and you can change labels, you can remove fields, you can add new fields, you can make certain fields read-only, you can make fields required, okay? And this is all part of the configurability of the tool that is available to you. Also configurable is the auto-population of fields. If the information already exists in the database, there is no need for you to have to go in and repopulate that, specifically in this instance, the HR information on the employee. Let's go ahead and capture that from where it belongs. So I'm going to go in and I'm going to do a search for Richardson. I want to move John here. So out of all the Richardsons, I'm going to click on John. He populates in the field below. I'm going to select him, and now I have a couple of options available to me. Okay? John is coming from an existing room location, all right, and that happens to be room 6334. What I'm being asked here is I can assign multiple rooms per person. I can also assign multiple people per room. So we do have a many-to-many relationship in that regard. But this question here is, do you want to add a new room for John Richardson or move John from his existing location? And that's what we're going to do. So I'm going to click on the select button here, and you'll notice that the information for the employee has automatically updated from Sandra Carsoni now to John Richardson's information. And I can even see maybe a quick little note for ergonomic needs. So if within your organization you do ergonomic evaluations, you can input that here, and that is going to help either the liaison, the manager, or the planner, whoever in your process you've defined as being able to go in and manage that information and be able to assign a new room location, and then potentially you might have a view of the rooms that also show you some of the rooms that already have maybe some ergonomic changes to them. So here we're going to select the to location. And again, this might not show up in this view. Maybe only your planners have the ability to sign it. Or maybe as part of your process, you have an approval process. So someone has requested a move, and now you want to approve that before the planner ever touches it. You can do that as well. So the workflow, the process, all of that information is flexible for you to be able to go in and decide what is the best situation for your organization. So here we have a graphic now of the floor plan, and it has defaulted to the vacant graphic view. A graphic view is simply showing us information about the floor. As I move into a room here and I see, oh, here's a vacant room, I may also notice right away that someone is assigned to move in here, indicated by my yellow annotations here for C. Morgan and the 6/14 date. Okay? If I still choose this room, I will get a pop-up message indicating the information about that as well. That's helpful if you are in a graphic view that does not display the future move information. Okay? So that is available to you as well. Also, if I choose a room, okay, that is already occupied, I may get a notice that tells me, hey, this is already occupied. Any of these situations, though, I want you to keep in mind, I can override, all right? Click on this room, and it'll let me know, well, it's occupied. However, the current occupant is scheduled to move out of this room. Okay, so again, trying to help the person in selecting the right location with those nice pop-up messages and prompts. Now I'm going to jump to a different graphic view. I want to go into the department's graphic view because this is also going to be helpful in regard to finding out where are all of my departments located. Okay, and if this person is moving into a particular department area, such as the northwest corner here, this is going to help me to define what department belongs to that area. Now, if there's a blank, I can choose that room location. There's no warning message that pops up, so I know I can use this room and I don't have to worry about any other occupants or future moves happening there at this time. My next option is the move date, and we support within the tool blackout dates and also lead time. So for your organization, you may have defined we don't do any moves prior to 3, 4, 5 business days. It's purely at your discretion. You can put that information in there and be able to have now your move dates be filtered by that. Also, the blackout dates you can set up so maybe you only do moves on a particular day of the week. In our demo here, we have Tuesdays and Thursdays as the only ones available. Notice my cursor changes, allowing me to select that, but as I hover over any of these other dates, I cannot select those dates within the tool here. Okay, so if this new move needed to occur on Saturday the 17th, I can't choose that, all right? I can only choose my next available date here. But one thing I can do is maybe in my notes say this is a move for a VP. Please move on Saturday the 17th. Okay, so I can put in notes like that, and then when I submit this, notifications will go out to the planners, to the administrators, etc., whoever needs to approve this, letting them know they need to fill out this information. Here I'm going to select basically just a reason, and wherever you see a drop-down list in our system, it means configurability. So don't be afraid when you see department, facility, and other and thinking, well, that's very limiting. It is, but it's for our demo, and you can feel free to add any other categories that you would like within this list. Okay? Likewise for move types. One thing I will mention about move types, though, is that they can be associated with costs. And this allows you to start benchmarking costs. Costs by department, costs by building, by floor. Okay? Now you can track all of these metrics and report on all of this information that is now being maintained and archived within the Move Management tool itself. Okay? One final thing I want to point out here is these checkboxes. Checkboxes, drop-down list, even free-form fields, you can have trigger additional information. So watch what happens to this view when I check on IT services. 3 more fields were now added. So it's a way to keep the form nice and clean and tidy unless you need additional services or have set additional criteria that now needs to be filled out as a result of the information that has been chosen. Okay? So now I can fill out information for computer notes, connectivity requirements, needs 2 data drops, whatever might be in here, and then that can serve as a notification trigger that will go out to my IT group, letting them know these additional services are required. So this, I clicked Submit at the bottom, but now I have another prompt on the screen, and this is letting me know that I already have another move for John Richardson in the system. And this is basically a checks and balances for your planners and those entering the move request, just to verify that, hey, did you forget that you had already entered something, or maybe someone else already entered a move? But sometimes we have a situation, for instance, a swing move, where you need to temporarily locate someone before you move them back. And you may have those move requests input into the system at the same time. So in that case, we would say, yes, I do want to continue adding this move into the system. At this point, I can go forward and make another move request, or I can add assets for this move. Okay, so like assets associated to the room or to the person. But before I do that, I'm going to go ahead and say that a notification went out to my move administrator here, or my planner, and they're going to log into the system after they got the email saying, hey, a new move is in the system, or this could have gone to the approver. And so you can define maybe a supervisor or a manager or someone specific to approve the move requests that come into the system. Now I'm going to view the status of the moves. And as an individual planner, I may have my categories filtered for maybe a particular building or multiple buildings that I manage. So maybe I don't see 500 move requests in the system. I only see, let's say in this case, 93. Maybe those are all the moves that are occurring in my building or buildings. Okay? So I come into the system, and right away I see color coding inside my grid view. This top view here is called the grid view area. And we can sort by move ID. We could potentially sort by move date. All I have to do is click on the header. If I want to do employee to move, I can click on that. And it's going to sort, click on it again, ascending to descending, back and forth. Okay, so I just wanted to point that out. Very quick and easy way for us to define this. These color codes, if I come over here and I click on my color codes, allow me to see that the yellow is pending, the green is approved, and then if I have any others in here, here's a red, it's on hold, okay? White is in progress. You can set these up however you'd like. You can come up with your own statuses and your own colors related to the status. Again, that is a configurable option within our tool, making it much easier to manage. We can also filter by these rows, so I can come into the system and maybe type in a name of an employee to move, and we can filter that. We also have a find box that's available here, so if I want to look up anything else for John Richardson, I can type in Richard, and now it shows me the two here that show up, and those were the two moves that I have now created. Okay? I can edit this move, and you might notice in my edit screen with the information shown below, I have a lot more information than even the form was showing. So I have move costs, I have additional fields here that I can go in and select, update, and manage. Okay? So if I did, as a planner, if I wanted to change the location, all right, I can do that within the system, and it's going to default to this floor, but I can even change a different building and different floors. All right? I can click Approve here, and it's going to update that, or I can change to any other status within the view. And now save changes on that, and now it is an approved move within the system. Select it, and now I also have the option to move assets or assign service requests. If I pull up Move Assets, it's going to give me the personal assets associated with John, and it's also going to give me the assets associated with the room that I am moving John from. Okay, so I might pick the desktop PC. If I would like, I can also select from non-assigned assets. These are not in our inventory. Maybe they're in storage somewhere. They don't have asset IDs yet, but as part of this move, I want to include them. So I could even do that if I so desired. All right? If I go back here and I want to remove my filter, then I could see everything once again and now manage that asset move. Okay? I want to point out a few other features, buttons up here at the top. And that is that we can come into the system and we can show everything, or we can have queries, maybe showing out, moves over the next few days within the system. All right? So you can have queries that are defined within the tool as well. And you can create your own query if you so desire. Okay? I can choose multiple ones that are available here, or I can use my query maybe to filter for no two-room location. So now I can filter for there, and now I can assign rooms to these locations, or I can do edit multiple and be able to assign, well, maybe I want a particular move date that I specifically want to assign for those moves, and then make those changes within the system. And now I have those dates updated for those that I've selected. I also have an lock and unlock feature available to me. And this allows me as a planner, if I have set up a move within the system, and I have already managed this, okay, with my movers, my furniture personnel, my IT group, etc., I can come in here and I can say, for John Richardson, lock this out. And that means no one else can make any change unless they're in a planner role and then can unlock this. What this means is that if there needs to be a change after everything has been set up in the system, someone would actually need to call you as the planner now and say, we need to delay this a week, 10 days, whatever it ends up being. Okay? And then finally, the post-move feature. The post-move allows for the ability to go in and assign the actual moves to occur within the system. We do not allow that to be done automatically anymore. And I say anymore because I used to be an end user of the system. And back when I worked for my old company, the problem was that oftentimes my planners would do large move projects, and they would set a date for the entire project, let's say 50 or more people. But guess what? The date changed, and my planner forgot to change the date within the system. Well, guess what happens come, 3/20 here, or whenever the date is? The system automatically moves them all. Notifications are sent out to everyone saying, congratulations, you've just moved. No, they have not, okay? So we went then to a post-move process, and that allows the planner to select everyone, okay, or select from queries, however you set it up in the system. But I can grab maybe from all my past due moves, and then I can post them all at once, all right? So it basically gives you a checks and balances within the system. Okay, so that was an individual move process, and now I want to show you a move project. Okay, so a move project is the ability to come into the system and say, northwest corner renovation, whatever you want to label it, and then I can assign it a date. I can assign, a contact information for the project, okay? But I'm just going to go ahead and click Submit here, and now I have the first three options are my group options. By group is really department. That's the group we're assigning is the department. Then I can grab by an entire floor of personnel, or by, building of personnel, or by a floor. The following three is the ability to then add individual employees to a large group move, or a new employee, okay? So I might have a process for this employee doesn't even exist in our system, but as part of this project, I need to add someone and say this person is going to move into this location, all right? And also assets. So if you move a department, they may have assets. We work a lot in the healthcare industry. A lot of times they have sensitive equipment that they need to make sure is moved with them when they're going someplace else. So here I'm going to click on By Group, and then I'm going to choose my department. Click OK, and I get my list of personnel assigned to that department. I can also see within my list for either my group, building, floor, etc., if there is already a planned move for that person within the system, and now I can simply uncheck them. Or maybe you're doing by floor, and you have 200 people listed here, but you're only moving 20, you might unselect all and then go select the 20 from the criteria that you have defined within the system. So there's a number of ways that you can manage this information and come in and select, deselect as you deem necessary, okay? Now I'm simply going to click Add Moves, and now 10 move requests immediately were created associated with this project. Now I could keep going. I can grab another group or grab several people from a floor or my individuals. So until I'm done here, all right, I can continue adding and adding and adding to this project. All right? I'm going to go back home. I'm going to go back to my status. And now at the top left of my status view is my filter, you'll notice here, for my projects. So I can come in, and here's my northwest corner renovation. And now here are the 10 people. Let me drag this down a little bit. Here are the 10 people, and I can select them all, right? Or maybe deselect maybe the top 2 and select only the 8 there. And now I can do my edit multiple, and I can say the move date for these guys is going to be the 29th. And the move types is they're all going to be floor to floor. And my reason is, facility is making this. I can even change them to a different project if I wanted to. So that's another great feature within the system. You might have multiple projects and need to flip people around from project to project depending on the requirements. But I'm going to save changes here, and you're going to notice that the move dates have updated below here, and also my move type, floor to floor, etc. All right? So I can come into the system and manage and update that information. Okay? Now I might want to edit these two and make a different move date if I wanted to. All right? But maybe I'm just going to hold off. So I'm to assign room for these personnel. And I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click on the first person at the top here. You can start with anyone. All right? But now I'm going to choose from my list of buildings available to me. I'll grab Western Headquarters, and I'll grab the 7th floor. I happen to know that my 7th floor is pretty vacant. Okay, so as a planner, hopefully they're aware of where all your vacancies mostly are, etc. So they're going to know this when they come into the system. Now I simply choose the room, and I want you to watch what happens in the to-room column here once I check the room here. It populates the information. So it's just click and click, person, room, okay? So I come in and I just start assigning my personnel to the different rooms. If I want to, I can go to a different building or different room within the system, different floor, all right? So I will not lose my previous assignments, okay? Now I can zoom in again. Oh, there's, if I click here, I'll get that warning. No, I don't want that. I'll choose 6350, and for David here, I'll choose 6342. And maybe I'm going to hold off on Nina, and so I'm going to save this, okay? And you want to save because if you walk away, go to lunch, go to a meeting, you could time out. And if you've assigned, 20, 30 people, you don't want that to happen. So save in the system, and then I can always come back in here and I can look, and now I see the people associated, so it's going to remind me, oh yeah, I've already assigned there, okay? Close this, and now my two-room locations show up here within the system, okay? I'm going to expand my move management over here on the left-hand side and just show you a few different options here. You do have the ability to come in and just do individual moves for assets, okay? You can also, as I showed you, assign the asset to a personnel move. But sometimes we only want to move assets. We aren't worried about moving people. It's just a move of a piece of equipment, all right? We can also set up different types of views for different users. And so maybe within this view, I'm going to select here, I might have multiple tabs. And within my tabs, I can see tasks for what do I need to do here. And maybe you have different configuration types that you can set up. Okay, IT status, maybe you give them a view where they can go in and modify and update information, and you can see when they've completed their portion of work. Likewise, for mover, or maybe we add a new tab as configuration for furniture, okay? And then you want to be able to send out notifications to an outside furniture vendor and be able to gather information from them, okay? We also have a survey. So you can have a survey piece that goes out and defines, hey, what do we want within our survey, all right? This is where I edit and I maintain that information. Coming back here, this is what it well, if I had access to it, I need to sign in as a different user. But we would be able to then see the survey piece and be able to report off of that information and go in and now find out how well we're doing within the organization. Okay, well, that about wraps it up for Move Management. And now I'm going to go ahead and address any of your questions that you put in the webinar panel. So please feel free at this point